Hello guys, you are welcome once more to NEPH. I'm your tutor, Mr. Opokie, and today we are going to be looking at this problem. It's actually on quadratic, but a little bit advanced. So let's get right into the question. So it says we should solve x to the power of 2 thirds minus 5 multiplied by x to the power of 1 third plus 6 is equal to 0. So to solve this problem, the first thing I want to recognize is, okay, remember 2 over 3, we can also write this in terms of 1 third. So that means we can say 2 over 1 times what? 1 third, which we can write as 2, okay, in bracket 1 third, okay? Or we can write 1 third first and in bracket multiply by 2. So 2 third also means this or this or this. So I want to introduce 2 third as any of this, but let us go with this, all right? So instead of 2 third, I want to replace it, okay, with this. So let me do that and let's see what we have. I'm going to have x to the power of what? We have 1 third, okay, multiplied by what? 2, okay, minus what? 5 multiply x to the power of what? 1 third plus 6 is equal to what? 0. Now from this, I think you can be able to recognize something here. Now what can we recognize here? We can recognize that we have x to the power of what? 1 third. Okay? So we have x to the power of what? 1 third here and here. So I can decide to, change that such that we can say let our x to the power of 1 third be equal to, you can use any alphabet, but let me just use n. So I will written that it means I can substitute x to the power of 1 third as n in this, equation. So if we do that, we are going to have all these becomes what? N, okay, n in brackets. So we have n, okay. Remember, we have the square outside. So minus what? 5. So x to the power of 1 third, remember it's m. So we have m here, okay, plus 6 is equal to what? 0. So if you look at this, you can now realize that we have gotten what? A quadratic equation. Now the quadratic equation we are going to solve, for the two values of what? N. Okay. So how do we solve for the two values of n? So I have this is n squared minus what? We have 5m plus what? 6 is equal to 0. So from this you can realize our a here is 1. Okay. Our b here is what? Our b is minus 5. So we have b as minus 5, a is 1, and our c is what? Plus 6. So what is the product of, a times c? It means 1 times plus 6. So 1 times 6, which is still what? 6. Now you want to look for two numbers that are factors of 6, but such that their sum is going to give you minus 5 and their product is going to give you 6. And those two numbers, of course, you can use 2 and 3. Okay? We can also use 1 and 6. Okay? But 2 and 3 can also serve. Now the next thing is you want to, input signs. Okay? So minus 2 and minus 3 can serve. Now, minus 2 Okay, plus minus 3 is going to give you minus 5. And if you multiply these two, you are going to get plus 6. Because minus times minus is plus 2 times 3 is 6. So all we need to do in place of minus 5m, we are going to write minus 2m minus 3m. So we are going to have our m squared, so minus 2m minus 3m, okay, also means minus 5m, so plus 6 is equal to 0. So from this, we can now solve, by factorizing to get the two values of n. Factor out n, okay, if we look at this, we can see that n is common. So we are going to divide this and this by n. So we have m squared divided by n minus 2m divided by n. Now what about this? I can bring out minus 3. 3 is common between 3 and 6. I'm going to divide this by what? 3. And I'm going to divide 6 by what? 3. But now, the sign is going to change. The sign here is as well going to be the sign here. Because minus times minus, you want to ensure is plus. So we have 6 divided by what? 3. Which is equal to what? 0. So we can now simplify this further. Let's simplify further to see what that gives us. So m is going to cancel 1 here. So we have m in brackets. So we have n minus. M is going to cancel, n is 1, 1. So we are left with 2. So we have minus 3 out there. 3 is going to cancel 3. We have m minus 3 is going to cancel 6, which is 2. That will give us equal to what? 0. Now from this point, what can you observe? You can observe that the bracket is what? Common. We have n minus 2 here and n minus 2 here. So we can bring out the common bracket, one of it, and open a bracket. What is outside will come into this new bracket. So we have n here, which is outside, and minus 3 is equal to 0. So we can now apply the quadratic condition that this is equal to 0 or this is equal to 0. So you can write all this as m minus 2 is equal to 0 or m minus 3 is equal to 0. So from this, we can solve for the values of n. So my m here is going to be, I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So this will come over here, so we have 0 plus 2. So m is 2, or for this, if I add 3 to both sides, so I'll add 0 plus 3. M is going to be 0 plus 3 is 3. So the two values of m are 2 and 3. Now we can now come to this. Remember the question says we should solve this. So we're actually solving for the value of what? X and not the value of what? N. So to solve for the two values of what? X, we can now use the values of n here and input into this. So what would that give us? Simply remember my n here is 2. So I'm going to say x to the power of 1/3 is equal to 2. Or we also have x to the power of 1/3 is equal, m is also equals to what? 3. So now that is the relevance of why we say x to the power of 1/3 is equals to m. Now from this, 2 has a power of 1, 3 has a power of 1. Now how do I find x here? Okay, all I need to do is I'm going to multiply this, okay, by this denominator, which is 3. So I have x to the power of 1/3 multiplied by 3. And if I do that here, I'm also going to do it to this power. Okay, that is a simple rule of what? Mathematics. Now we are also going to do the same here. X to the power of 1/3. I'm going to multiply this by 3. And I'm also going to multiply this by what? 3. So this will cancel this. So we have 1, 1. So this is now x to the power of 1, which is equal to 2 to the power of 1 times 3 is 3, or we have x here because this will cancel, this is 1, 1. X to the power of 1 is equal to 3 raised to the power of 1 times 3 is 3. So from this, we can now get our answer. X here is equals 2 to the power of 3 means 2 times 2 times 2, which is equal to 8. Or x here is going to be 3 to the power of 3 means 3 times 3 times 3, which is equals to what? 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. So our answers to this problem we have 8 and 27. So that gives us the solution to this problem. Alright guys, don't forget to hit the like button. Do well to share this video to someone out there. I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Bye.